Exciting. We have been going through the Love Your Enemy Challenge to clear off all of the corrosion, all of the rust, all of the decay, blocking the full power that we have to live this life. Welcome. All right. Believe in yourself. Believe in your purpose. Believe in your calling. That's right. All right, so let's begin. We are going to go ahead and start. We're going to start with generating state. Isn't that right? Let's generate a state that comes from a point power from within. We know that the power within us is greater than the power in the world. So let's really access that by taking a deep breath in, blowing it out. Another deep breath in, blow it out. One more deep breath in and blow it out. And think of everything you're grateful for. Think of one thing you're grateful for. Something that would just help you start to appreciate what you do have. It's so easy to get stuck in the discouragement and frustration of what we don't have. Don't wait until it's not available to appreciate it. Appreciate it right now. Appreciate our heart. Appreciate being able to see a color. Appreciate the sunshine, warming the world without any effort. Like, we don't have to try hard. The sun shows up, shines on the earth, creates photosynthesis, and gives nourishment to plants to grow. We don't have to work at water coming from the sky to provide liquid for the world and the food that we need. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much to be grateful for. All right, and sometimes one way to amplify that gratitude is even feel really proud about something that's happened. So we can feel really proud about how we reacted to something. We can feel really proud about something that we earned or we won. And we can feel really proud about our relationship that we have, maybe as a mom or a dad or a child or a sibling, or even as an employee or a business owner, as a service giver to a customer or client. Amplify that feeling of gratitude with feelings of being very proud of yourself. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just shut off my phone. And I love that music though. I appreciate that song coming in for me. Very peaceful. Every time that song comes in, my phone has a violin song on it. I'm just like, oh, thank you for that beautiful feeling of song. So welcome, welcome. We're going to start off with our Dream Builder screens. Super. Welcome, Helia. We just did a little exercise in our gratefulness and raising our energy and feeling good, raising our state, generating our own state. Oh, awesome. I just sold all my chicks. My husband was calling me. So, all right, here we go. Today's day 5. Like, how has it been going? I would love to hear some of the things that you've been experiencing because of this work that you're doing for yourself. I had a session this morning already, and when I was working with my client, I described resentment, unforgiveness, blame, shame, guilt, judgment as, you know, if a light is plugged into the wall, there's an electrical current. But if that cord has a bunch of corrosion on it and old buildup, the into on the electrical part, it's not going to get, it might not get any light at all, but it certainly is going to dim the light. So what forgiveness work, what loving your enemy, what building up your ability to love, and what creating that really good feeling of gratitude do for us is to help clear off that corrosion. And then guess what? We automatically become brighter. We automatically dream. We automatically feel connected to God or the our life force, whatever you believe that is. And when we have that clear connection, then life is beautiful. We're so much more capable of building a dream from that set point. So that is what we're going to continue doing because it is the way to reach your dream. So, first of all, we want to know that as we pray this forgiveness prayer, keep in mind that forgiveness is the most powerful way to free our hearts. And that's the truth. It's the most powerful way to free our hearts. How else could we be anything greater than when we are loving? We couldn't be, right? I hear you, Helia. That happens. Definitely. So that's okay. Just take a breath right now and take a breath and just breathe into this moment that you have at the present and even ask a question. What would I love? What would I love to have happen? That's a very good redirector and refocuser for our mind. It automatically wants to imagine the bad things. We talked about imagination yesterday, and this morning I read this most beautiful um, statement from the Dream Builder program, which was something like we often use our imagination in a faulty way. Faulty would mean we're worrying about something, we're thinking about all the bad ways, the things that can go wrong. We are having conversations about how it did go wrong. We're blaming, we're accusing. That's using our imagination for in a lot of faulty ways, right? So take a moment to breathe and ask the question, what would I love? What would I love in this circumstance? And if it's difficult to think that way, and you're like, but I can't think that way because there's this, and this going on, interrupt, use tapping, use a song, dance around, get a different sensation, and then breathe and come back to that question. All right. So, forgiveness is the most powerful way to free our hearts. And it's actually the most powerful way to open up the possibility for something new to happen. Do you see how when we live with that state of unforgiveness, that we continue in a pattern that is contributing to the same experience that we're having in our life? This is very empowering. We are continuing in a pattern that is contributing to us having the same experience in our life when we hold resentment from the past. Even the best dream can't survive if we're still holding on to blame, resentment, anger, or feelings of betrayal. You might have the most incredible dream of impacting the world. You might even have gotten a lot of traction on it. But even the best dream cannot survive when we are holding on to blame, resentment, anger, or feelings of betrayal. Your dream and your purpose is at a different frequency than your resentment. When we talk about emotion has energy and has a life force and has a rating on a frequency scale, and some of those emotions are acidic. Yes, resentment would not be in the higher frame of helping our body create health and vibrancy and life. It is a disintegrating state, right? So your dream and your purpose is at a different frequency than resentment. This is one of my, when I read the statement yesterday, it was just the perfect timing. And, when you have this happen and you finally figured out how to forgive, you've used some of these techniques and you're getting different sensations are popping up automatically that you didn't have to work for, didn't have to try. It's just that you just did the work. As long as there is someone in jail, there has to be a jailer. Forgiveness frees the jailer. Have you ever felt so controlling of somebody else? Maybe so jealous of them, maybe uh so concerned about them that you put them in a jail of like protecting them or um trying to improve their life for them, or that they've done something wrong and you want them to pay for it. This is all ways that we put someone in jail, and we have to be on the lookout to make sure that they stay there. You have to be on the lookout to make sure that they pay for it and that they're punished, or that they're protected, or that you're protecting other people. And forgiveness frees the jailer. And I have that experience. And that's the exact words that describes it. I no longer am responsible for their life, and I'm free to live my own more fully. Is that beautiful? As long as there's someone in jail, there has to be a jailer. Forgiveness frees the jailer. So all of these things are coming from the Dream Builder program, which I'm certified to teach and coach you in. I do one-on-one sessions, which is so beneficial because you're going to get to experience this kind of work one-on-one with me, where I am breathing the life into your dream and helping you remove all this corrosion, the personal things that are happening in your life. I love working one-on-one with people, and I appreciate all the one-on-one coaches that I've had, because I've done a lot of group coaches, and I can tell you all of my big, huge wins have been in one-to-one coaching. And I also can teach this course, the Dream Builder course, with a group. So especially if you have a like-minded group of people, maybe you have other employees or other family members or something that you'd like to do this with, we can do that as well. Or we can do it with strangers. So, but most of the things that are coming from today are coming from this Dream Builder program, including that last statement, which Mary Morrissey blessed me with yesterday. So this is also from there. She quotes the Course in Miracles, which is a book. Every action we take is either an expression of love or a call for love, regardless of how unskillful it may seem. And so I thought about this because we had an incident on Tuesday that happened with a person that popped into our Zoom here. And I thought every action we take is either an expression of love or a call for love. And how some people are just so unskillful at it and they really don't know what to do. But when we believe that from inside every human is goodness and they're just looking for love, they're wanting to feel love, and they're so unskilled at knowing how to ask for it and knowing how to really feel connected to somebody because they have so much corrosion over those wires, so much resentment and hate and hurt and pain. And so they're reacting from that state. I hope that opens up compassion for you and a whole new experience, even in the present moment. When we experience people in the present moment and we can see that their unskillful behavior wants to create a reaction for us, if we can take that moment and breathe and realize that just like us, that we made mistakes and we've hurt people and we've been the enemy to many, many people, we were doing it, I'm sure, out of an expression of love or a call for love. So could our enemy be calling out for love in the only way that they know how? From their untrained life, from what life has given them. Are they reacting? Are they giving back from their past? And do we want to continue to do that as well? Love is everywhere. When we've removed the blinders, or as I was saying, remove the corrosion, it's okay to focus on love, even though someone did something wrong. And that's how we free ourselves from their wrongdoing, right? We're just trapping ourselves in a story of their wrongdoing, and we don't deserve it. So forgiveness is a shift in perception that removes a block of awareness of love's. It removes the block that I have from the awareness of love's presence. Forgiveness is a shift in, in perception that removes a block to my own awareness of love's presence. And that block is in me. That block is in me, and it can be removed because this is inner work that does that for us. The infinite side of our nature is always whole and complete, and forgiveness is the benefit to us on the human plane. So here's a great way to view people. It's called the Namaste. It means the divine in me recognizes the divine in you. We know that flesh and blood are going to do things in corrosive ways, in ways that are stemming from their own past experiences, in repetitive patterns that they are living in and giving out from and don't know how to get out of the loop from. But they have divinity in them. They're being breathed, they're alive, they have spirit. And so can we look at them and say, the divine in me recognizes the divine in you. We make mistakes. We've done it. Would we appreciate someone else noticing the divine in us and minimizing the experiences where we've done things wrong? Yes. Would we love their forgiveness? Yes. Would we love them to have forgotten that experience and just experience the true us, the real us, the authentic us? Finding a way to connect helps us feel compassion. And so when we know that we've made mistakes and they've made mistakes, and I think we worked with this on Wednesday, day 3 of tell on ourselves, relate that back to us so that we can have compassion. And that's the whole purpose of that exercise. Like, it's a little bit of a difficult exercise. I give you that, but it gives us automatic compassion. And I don't want you to work at compassion because that's a work program. That's a try program, a program being a mental program, meaning a subconscious program. So how do we feel automatic compassion so that we're having a compassionate program and a loving program? Well, we do that by finding ways to connect that automatically give us that feeling. When we feel compassion first and then think of that person, remember we can generate the inner state first. So we feel compassion first and then think of that person. Just like on day 1, when I said, we're not going to write any gratefuls, we're not going to do this work until we're feeling good, until we're feeling love. We developed the way to do that, to feel love and generate it for ourselves, inside of ourselves, because then it can flow. It can flow out instead of being a force or a try or people can tell that you're faking it, have it come from true change. Love can come from true change, truly clearing out that corrosive energy from resentment, unforgiveness, blame, and guilt. And then you will automatically have that kind of compassion. So here's the Dalai Lama's loving kindness metta meditation. I love to say it out loud. And the way that we're going to practice it is that we're going to say it about ourselves first, because we matter. All right. You matter to yourself more than anybody else in the world. You have to matter to yourself more than anybody else in the world, or you would stop existing. Everything would start to decline. So say this about yourself first, and then we're going to say it about someone we love. And then we're going to say it about our sacred friend or our enemy. And our sacred friends are those friends that really helped us grow. They really helped us grow. Oh, good. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. We're just starting with the Dalai Lama's loving kindness metta meditation. Saying it about ourselves first, saying it about someone we love next, and then saying it to that enemy or sacred friend. Hello. So let's begin. And like I said, I say it out loud. I carry it with me. We want to be feeling from this energy towards other people, because then they're going to notice the change in us. But more than that, we're going to start removing that corrosion that's stopping the inner love, the inner peace, right? May I be truly happy. May I live in peace. May I live in love. May I know the power of forgiveness. May I live in recognition that my life has deep meaning and good purpose. And now I'm going to say it about someone I love. May you be truly happy. May you live in peace. May you live in love. May you know the power of forgiveness. And may you live in recognition that your life has deep meaning and good purpose. And now I'm going to say it about my sacred friend, a friend that's really helped me to grow and transition into a more loving person because I learned how to do it on the inside, right? We learned how to update those memories. We learned how to change the look on their face. We learned how to update the words that we heard. We learned how to make it feel different and imagine it as though it were just what we needed to know that we're loved and to love in return, right? And now we say it about our sacred friend. May you be truly happy. May you live in peace. May you live in love. May you know the power of forgiveness. And may you live in recognition that your life has deep meaning and good purpose. You know, what if we really wanted our enemy to live in recognition that their life has deep meaning and good purpose? Wouldn't that be great for them? Wouldn't that be great for them to know that? And wouldn't that provide an amazing transformation? There are a lot of people who transform their lives. I see this with parents and children, parents maybe who, maybe they had addictions or maybe they were punishers of their children or they were intimidators of their children and they've changed. But all the children can see is that same person. May we live in recognition that their life has deep meaning and good purpose. And that kind of opens the ability to see something better in them, doesn't it? Really like that. I hope that you'll take it to heart and even just repeat it, especially repeating it about yourself and people that you love. And if you can say it about your sacred friend and really mean it, then you're ready to progress onto that stage. Okay? And if not, you go back to day 2, you go back to day 1, you go back to day 3, you find out for yourself, like, what is really helping me feel different about this? Your feelings are your closest representation to what's going on in your subconscious mind. So some of you have experienced insight into knowing yourself better and being aware of how you can do for yourself just what you need. You know, you are as specific as your fingerprints. There's only one you on earth. And so the stuff that's going on in your mind is specific to you. And what I was hoping is to give you enough tools and enough skills and enough resources that you're able to know for yourself what is it that you need to be doing and being aware of doing that for yourself at all times. Even like, there's a stressful moment or there's a harsh remark or something, like it may take a couple of seconds. That's okay. But then you're like, oh, right, this is what I need. And come back to that center of gravity, come back to that beautiful spirit, the soul's purpose, come back to the life that is expressing love and goodness to the world. What was that? In recognition that your life has deep meaning and good purpose, coming back to that good purpose that you're here for. So now you become aware of how your brain holds things. We know that it holds images. It also holds videos, doesn't it? And these images and videos can have colors and they can have just different things that really mean something to us. And we can help to adjust that. We know that our mind holds things based on a sound. We can, if we have a favorite song, we can play it in our head right now, but we don't have any musical instruments. But we can imagine it. We can hear it just like it's actually created. We can also have feelings and sensations. And we know that you're no longer subject to whatever that your nature and your past wants to bring back up. So our past and our nature and our brain wants to bring up these pop-ups of what we see, what we hear, what we feel. It wants to bring them back up to us over and over and over, especially if it's traumatic. And it's like, oh, I can see that again and again, or I can hear it over and over and over and over. They're still saying they're no, but they told me I'm stupid. They told me this. They told me that. Yeah, we can hear it really clearly when it's a trauma. And when our brain wants to pop that up, we are no longer subject to that part. We say, thank you for reminding, thank you for bringing into my conscious mind what I no longer want. Thank you for reminding me of what I no longer want. And then we redirect and say, this is what I love. This is what I would love. This is what I would love. This is what I want. This is what I enjoy. This is what I create. So it's always an interruption. Thank you for reminding me of that horrible image. Thank you for repeating those terrible words in my mind. Thank you for that constricted feeling. Now I know what I don't want and I know what to practice. And we go to the happy memories. We go to the sensations that help us feel good. We think about people that make us feel warm and invited and loved. So you found gratitude for the person that wounded you. I hope so by now. If you found gratitude for the person that wounded you and you're able to say maybe even 3 gratefuls for them without feeling constricted or like they don't deserve it or they still need punishment, then type it in the chat for me because that was kind of my challenge that I could bring you to a state of having this natural gratitude for somebody that you were blaming in your life. But that blame is corrosion. That blame is blocking your flow to the life you love and to your connection to God, the higher power, the creator. So, under this understanding that you have been able to do this, you've freed yourself from being the jailer. I told a story about my present husband who um, I was having such a hard time trusting him because of my story with my ex-husband, my husband. And I really didn't realize it that it was from my past. I totally thought that Max was creating this in me to have to watch him. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night. I wasn't able to ever sleep. It seemed like I would pop wide awake and have these thoughts come in my head like, you got to do this, you got to check this, you got to. So I would get up in the middle of the night and I'd go check his car. And I remember just being on my knees next to the car, like looking underneath the seats and in the trunk. And I just thought, this is a torment. This is torment. I'm tormenting myself by checking up on him. And how do I get free of this? And I just didn't know how. But I can tell you that the forgiveness work that I've done with my childhood and the forgiveness that work that I've done with my ex-husband has transformed my needing to check up and have Max be in this jail of let me see your phone and what did you say and what did they say and how did you say it and even feeling any urge at all to check up on him. And that's the kind of way that I freed myself from being a jailer, right? And also have a much better relationship because of it. Like, who wants to live under that kind of jail sentence of something from my past? So, have you found gratitude for the person that wounded you? And do you feel more freed from being the jailer, of keeping them punished? Ah, that's a horrible place to be. For some reason, we make it feel good because we think, oh, then they're paying for something. But when they pay for something, we are the ones held to that contract. So some of you have come a long way and you have experienced some great forgiveness work and some understanding at how your brain works and your subconscious programs and really how to update that and feel differently. And some of you would like more help because your awareness created an understanding of how much more there is to uncover, release, and create harmony and peace from within. How much more there is, how many more people there are to integrate into your life in harmony and peace. So just reach out to me. I'd love to schedule a time to chat or talk with you. You can even fill out the form that I've put right here in the Google Docs. I don't know if you guys are able to click on that. I'll put it in the chat for you. Um, and then there's an opportunity to set up a time for us to work on building out your life that you would love. And I can explain how to work with me further doing that one on one or in a group or whatever ways feel good to you. Even like a retreat center would be so fun, or a retreat. I have this beautiful little spot up north that I was just checking in on. And you have to be totally unplugged. There's no electricity, there's not even running water, but we do have a gas fired stove and a gas fired refrigerator. So we at least have those, and we have a water pump in the sink so we can pump our own water. And it's right on a lake, but talk about just unplugging and unstressing. And then, doing some of this dream building work is so exciting to me. So these are some of the opportunities I'd love, and I'm open to all kinds of ideas. So tomorrow is a workshop, and that's going to be Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Chicago time. This workshop is going to help you really get crystal clear on your soul's purpose and life dream. You have a big, huge dream inside of you, and you've been putting it aside. You've been incapable of doing it. You've sabotaged yourself. And all of this is stemming from this unforgiveness, resentment, and these wounds that we have from our past. We really cannot live our dream from while we have that state of energy. Our dream is at a whole different frequency and a whole different level of emotions, right? If you imagine yourself living the life you love, aren't you free? Yeah, I believe you'd be totally free of those kind of thoughts of living from the past, those kinds of resentments, those kinds of that person is the reason for my horrible life, because you couldn't have a great life and blame somebody for your horrible life anymore. Isn't that true? Yes. So now that you're able to love your enemy, you've removed a block to living a life you absolutely love. You've removed a block that's been stopping you from living the way you love, from your spirit expressing straight through you without corrosion, without negative incidences, and without the bad experiences that you've been blaming to stay in the same life. Without those bad experiences that you blame to stay in the same life, you're just going to skyrocket into the life you love. So join me, bring your friends. We're going to be doing the giveaway. And of course, if you would like to do it before then, you can always click that Google Doc and see if you can find a time on my calendar to meet up, because I would love to do that too. Thank you guys. It's only a half-hour meeting, I guess, unless we want to talk, which I'm perfectly happy to do. But thank you so much for allowing me to share what some of the best techniques for forgiveness, love, and integration for inner harmony and peace. So for what's worked for me, being able to share it with you. I know that it's worked for so many people as well, for my clients. And it's just a really powerful inner power that we can transform our own life with. And if we all practice this daily, moment by moment, sometimes, right? Like if it's been a difficult week for you, then know that sometimes it's moment by moment that we have to update and realign and breathe life into what we love, and figure out, like, what is it that is bothering me about this that I need to still let go of? Because if there's something presently bothering you, that's your moment to say, oh, thank you. Thank you that I know that I still have something from the past that's coming up and offering me the ability to transform it, the opportunity to transform it. So if we practice this daily, moment by moment, sometimes, wouldn't the world be a wonderful place? Dream with me together to reach 2023 people just like you that are ready to have more love, forgiveness, joy, and peace and harmony in their relationships, and especially with themselves. Not only does it transform relationships, it transforms health, the physical, little cells inside our body are instantly reflected but or instantly affected by our thoughts. Now, sometimes our thoughts don't show up in the physical world as far as, like things happening in our life quickly at all. Sometimes it can take a long time, but inside our body, we can have a very quick effect for our health. So if we are having that inner peace and joy and love, it directly affects our body. It for sure affects our relationships, and it definitely affects our expression of our gifts to the world, which is our vocation, which is the way that we create and earn a living. So dream with me, believe with me. There are many, many people who would love to hear this, would love to know it, and would transform so many parts of their lives and make the world a better place. When people know this work, harmony and world peace are possible. When people know this work, harmony and world peace are possible. It's not from the trying, it's not from the hard work, it's not from the difficulty that we receive harmony and peace. And it is the same for everyone else. We've got to be on that frequency of feeling it, being it, and doing it. And that will help us reach our dreams, all of our dreams. All right. So that is what I have for today. Do you ladies have any questions or anything that you want to work on or anything that is standing out as still being stuck or ready to open up and move on from? I'd love to hear. Everybody's muted. So if you're all busy, that is perfectly fine. You're very welcome. For all of my love and training, this is not the person I was. I'm really grateful that I feel it and I know it. And even when things rise up, I know what to go back to transform my thinking. It's all in this work inside of the brain. And just being willing to say, yeah, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that go because I want a different imagination. I want a different result. And believing it so hardcore that it's like part of my DNA to say, do I want the results of this thought? Do I want the results of this thought? And if the answer is no, then transform it, let it go, move it on. And I want to let go of the resentment. Yes. Good. Beautiful. So reach out to me, Helia. Fill out that form because sometimes we all just need that one-on-one coaching. And when I work with my clients, and I see all these things like, oh, group coaching, and that's great. But I know that there are some of us out there still doing one-on-one coaching, and it is the best way to get immediate results and to get life spoken into you because you're unique. You are unique. So I would love for you to do that. Well, let me send you guys off with one question. What's one step that you can take in the direction of your dream this week? And write it down. And it can be a little step. It can be like, I'm going to smell a rose and think about my sacred friend. Or I'm going to just maybe reach out and thank them for something. Or maybe like I would never be the person to tell you to reach out to somebody else about this kind of work. This is all inner work. And from that extension comes this beautiful flow. So it is up to you. What one step can I take in the direction of my dream? Maybe it's taking a walk in nature and just taking time to feel all that, like to breathe that in and feel grateful. Maybe that's all it is. Just ask yourself that question and write down something and then put a date on it. What date would you like to have that done by? Could you do it today or tomorrow? I know it's late for some of you. Could you do it today or tomorrow? And just think about that one step. That's it. Because we have all this information, we know all of these things now. Now comes the action. And we want the action to come out from this feeling of gratefulness and love and joy and peace, some of what we've been experiencing this week. We want the action step to come from that energy. So as you sit with that and think about it, write it down, put a date on it, and be accountable to yourself to do this. And thank you so much for joining me, giving me your time. Thank you for sharing this with other people. For those of you that have shared, really let me know how many people you've shared it with. I would be happy to put your name in the hat for a free session that we're going to be drawing on Saturday, probably Sunday morning, or I'll give people enough time to invite people in, but invite them into the group, share with them the videos that are on my page, being live on my page. And, you know, if this gift feels big enough for you, I know that there's nothing that's going to stop you from sharing it. And so I hope it really has been. It's been my my deepest learning that I've really shared with you. And I hope that it's blessed you completely. So, what one step can you take in the direction of your dream this week and share it with us? Put it in the group. There's another prize today for a $25 gift certificate. So, share the homework for today is to share with us what one step are you going to take in the direction of your dream and what date are you taking it by? That will help you be accountable to it. Okay. Because I know we want to be pulled back to what's comfortable and what's natural in our old state of frequency. And so posting this in the group is really going to benefit you. And you can do a video, you can type it out. You can even send it to me in an email if you're more of a private person. So what one step are you taking? What's the date? And I'm so excited to celebrate that with you. All right. Love you so much. Thank you for joining me and share the work with many, many people that all we have to do is remove that corrosion off their electrical source. And we're going to have beautiful light bulbs all over the world. Bye-bye.